Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Now, today I'm joined by the beautiful Tyra. Tyra, how you doing today?
I'm awesome. Ready to talk some horror with you.
I am so excited to have you here. But before we talk about why you're here, Tyra, I would like for the people that don't know you to get to know you a little bit. Struggle Reviews TV, which is your YouTube channel, you've done over 500 videos. You do everything from cosplay, skits, rap, sing. You review movies as well. So, what got you started with doing Struggle Reviews TV?
I would watch other reviews and I'm like, I would have did it different. I would have said it differently. But then of course, when you're watching someone, they make it look really easy. So when I actually started, I was like, oh, this is hard as hell.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just gonna name myself Struggle Reviews TV because I'm struggling through this process. So don't get on the channel and expect too much. I'm growing as I go.
Oh, and you're doing an amazing job. I was lucky enough to meet you through a live episode with our friend Tonight in Horror and Nikki, shout out. Ever since then, it's been able to, we've grown this relationship and, our communities have started intersecting. And that's what I love about this. And what you're getting with Tyra is what you see is what you get type of attitude. So you also do a lot of interviews and stuff, like I said, with Nikki over there. So what got you two connected?
Uh, she just reached out to me. She was Nikki's Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki's Nikki. So she was like, she was starting off and she was trying to figure out how my channel was growing so quickly. And she was like, I don't know, you have like resting bee face. I don't know if I wanted to ever ask you anything. And then she asked and I was really friendly. She was like, oh, you're cool. I was like, yeah. And we've been talking ever since then. And then she was like, you like horror? It's like, yeah, I started with the with the intention of having a horror channel, but I completely segue away from that because I was scared that I wouldn't be noticed on the platform or, I wouldn't be noticed as quickly, but I love horror just the same. So we connected on that as well.
Well, I will tell you, it would be damn near impossible for you not to be noticed because the work ethic and the hard work that you put into your videos, they're very informative. You could tell that it's something you're very, very passionate about. So I'm very honored to have you here. And like you said, you started off as a horror channel. Now, in order to do that, Tyra, horror had to start for you somewhere. So now
Yeah.
I would like to go back to the past and
Mhm.
talk about what got you started in the horror genre, your first horror movie. And Tyra, the first horror movie you watched was.
Creepshow too.
What a fantastic start to your horror life. I absolutely adore this movie. So, do you remember about how old you were the first time you had seen it?
I was 7. I remember because we weren't allowed to really watch any. My mom, she's not a horror at all. So it was, I don't know what channel, Public Access, some type of, channel where they're just running random old movies. And I was like, oh, it's a cartoon. I can watch this because it's a cartoon because it starts off with that animation. And I was like, oh, this is not a cartoon. And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I just went down the rabbit hole of, okay, if this is an anthology, let's see what else they have. Then there was that, then the first Creepshow, then Body Bags, then, Tales from the Dark Side. And then it just kind of went over from there.
And it's funny because I saw Creepshow 2 before I had seen Creepshow 1 as well.
Mhm.
This is the one that I noticed first on the video store shelf, and this is the one that I kind of gravitated to. And you said that your mom wasn't big into horror, but were you by yourself when you watched this, or did you have brothers and sisters you watched it with for the first time, or
Oh no, I'm the oldest. It was just me.
just you and little Billy watching Creepshow? Um, this movie is so impactful, and there's a lot of scenes that are super impactful throughout the whole movie. But do you remember which scene it was that affected you the most?
I think it was that first oh no. I was gonna say it's the tale with the Indians and stealing the valuables. No, it was the thanks for the ride lady. It was that one.
Thanks for the ride.
It was that one. I was cruising through most of them, and it was regular TV, so we blurred out a lot of stuff where I forget which one that is where we have that gunk in the water.
The raft.
Yeah, the raft and the nudity and the whole thing, which is really, really awesome effects. But it was that one when she kept hitting that thing and it kept coming back and it got just worse and worse. And it really reminds me now of American Werewolf in London. Like it just kept coming back, looking worse and worse and worse. And I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And I was a little scared. I was a little scared, but I was like, I love it enough not to look away, but this is really great and I want to see more. But the Things for the Right Lady, that's all I ever needed to see.
And it's funny because as a kid, that was my least favorite one.
Really?
I was like, ah, this one's lame. But the older I got, I was like, this one's fucking terrifying. And like you
Mhm.
start to realize things like she's literally cheating on her husband to start that segment. And she's like, $200 per orgasm. And she's like smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, God damn, I got in the wrong business. Um, so we're talking about Creepshow 2 and how amazing this movie is because to me, a horror anthology when done right is fucking fantastic. You look at Creepshow 2, Tales from the Hood. You talked about body bags.
Yes.
We also talked about Tales from the Dark Side. When you can do a horror movie anthology the right way, I feel like it's such an immersive experience. Because
Mhm.
even if you don't have as much fun with one, you
Yeah.
can still have a great viewing experience as a whole. So we know which scene it was that affected you the most. Thanks for the ride, lady. But
Yes.
do you have a favorite moment from Creepshow 2?
Let's see. It's probably the that the I always love the openings, the transitioning from the animation. I think that was the I'm not sure if we got that with the first one, but I know that the creeper is Tom Savini, and I thought it looked so cool. I thought it looked so cool and creepy. That's probably what was my favorite thing because I was like, oh my goodness, this is it was just that major transition for me to go, oh, this is not a cartoon, this is real, but it was just enough like animation and special effects for me to really be hanging in there to see what else the movie had to offer because I thought he looked really scary, but I was like, this is cool. I'm interested. I'm invested.
Yeah, he threw that cat. He cast it out, reeled
Mhm.
you in. So, we do have a fair amount of deaths in this movie. For being an anthology, we still get a good amount of deaths.
Mhm.
Do you have a favorite kill from Creepshow 2?
Absolutely, the wrath kill. When we are getting with the teenagers and the debauchery, and you have the kind of the nice guy standing last, like, well, he's gonna try to save her. If we're not surviving this together, we're not surviving this at all. He's gonna be that good guy. So when he kind of serves her up to try to save himself, I always think that was just awesome. That's my favorite.
And it's funny because right after that, you have him on the beach, like, I beat you. And it's like, oh,
I
you did?
beat you.
Grabs him and drags him in as well. So, because you're right, as a kid, I was like, oh, he saw a booby. That was awesome. And I got older and I'm like, he just sexually assaulted his
Yes.
dead friend's girlfriend. Like she was sleeping and he was like totally taking advantage of her while she's sleeping, a douchebag. I'm glad the wrath got him now. Um, it's just funny how you look at things through a different lens. As a kid, I was like, yes, let me see that booby. Now as an adult, I'm like, fucking creep, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
So and again, this a lot of very relatable, especially to teenagers, that moment of sneaking out onto the raft and doing that type. We all did that type of stuff as teenagers, and
Yeah.
um, so scary. And the raft is a great Stephen King short story for those of you that haven't read it. A lot different than the Creepshow 2 version, and it's wonderfully done. Um, so whenever we talk about movies that are part of a franchise, I always ask, what's your favorite in the franchise? Now we do have Creepshow 2, and unfortunately we do have Creepshow 3. But rather than asking you what's your favorite in this franchise, of all the segments throughout Creepshow 1 and 2, I'm not even going to count 3, of all the segments, of all the shorts in those movies, which short would you say is your absolute favorite?
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard. It's all it's because I love the one where it's Stephen King in the short and he turns into that grassy moss situation and it keeps multiplying and growing. But because that first one just has some gems. The last one in the first installment with all the roaches, Mr. Gosh,
Oh yeah.
what is his name? The old guy, the bug guy.
I can't remember his name, but he's a
Oh,
douchebag.
yes, terrible,
And he has all the
terrible man.
cockroaches coming
Yes.
out of him.
That has to be like the best one. Like I love that one. No matter how many times I see that one, I still get a lot of joy out of it and just to see it multiply. And then just like the special effects in that one of all the roaches eventually coming out of his body and just to know that those were all real roaches, it just makes me feel good inside.
I feel the opposite because I would have died on set that day. Like, holy shit, no, thank you.
I miss that.
Um,
It's
it's
practical.
Oh, it's yeah, and it does look great. Like it
Yeah.
looks fantastic. And like I said, even Stephen King is Jordy Verrill, thinking he's gonna get $200 for a
Yeah.
meteor that he's gonna wagon into town Joe Dirt style.
Mhm.
Yeah, I absolutely love both these films, and it's really hard to say which one I like more because yeah, I saw Creepshow 2 first as a kid, but
Yeah.
the first one has something to tide you over. I can hold my breath for a long time. It's
Oh
very
yeah.
hard for that to be topped for me. So now, obviously, in Hollywood, Tyra, remakes, requels, sequels, they're kind of all the rage. People love doing the remakes, the requels, kind of adding on. Would you like to see them take an attempt at doing like another creep show movie
Mm.
rather than the TV series?
Nope, leave it alone. Leave it alone. I am admitted purist. Like I have yet to see anything brought to light outside of them coming back with the Shining. 40 years later, that was awesome. But yeah, leave it alone. I have no faith that we can't even now with all of the advancements that we've made with technologies and filmmaking. I have yet to see like a thorough anthology that's like, oh, every single story here is worth my time and really, really good. You may find one, and you might be iffy about that one, but it's just not the same. So I would prefer that they leave. You do your own anthology. It could be the creepy ones. I don't care what you call it, but just don't do creep show. Leave it alone, please.
Have you seen any of the Creepshow TV series?
Yes.
See, I love the TV series. Like I gotta admit, like I'm a sucker for it. And like how they still take Stephen King's old stories and then like you get Hannah Fierman and Justin Long together in an episode. I was just like, my heart is sold. I am so happy watching this right now.
Yeah, I was happy to see that. And I was happy to see that it wasn't a movie. I like it more so in that format than trying to do another film because that third film that shall not be named, just leave it alone.
Fucking awful. Oh my God. Like that. I remember being so excited and then watching it and being like, why did you do this, God? Why did you do this? Um, So, we talked about Creepshow 2 and what that means to you, Tyra, but here for a second, I do want to throw a little bit of a curveball at you.
Mhm.
My little buddy Ghostface is here, and he has a question for you. What's your favorite scary movie, Tyra?
Oh,
What is your favorite horror movie of all time?
oh my God, what kind of question is that? What
I
kind of,
never tell anyone I'm going to
oh
ask this
my
question
goodness, that's a
just
hard
because
question.
I want that reaction. That's why I never tell anyone.
That's a hard question. I like it's so many. It's
How,
I
how
do.
about this? How about this? You're on a 2 hour plane ride. You can only
Mhm.
take one movie with you to watch on this plane ride. What
Mhm.
horror movie are you grabbing?
I was gonna say I do all the hullabaloo, and I always have my favorite. It's always there, but I act like I don't. My favorite is always gonna be Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love them.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
good
my favorite.
call.
Hmm.
Um, Now that's a movie that doesn't get enough love,
Hmm.
because that's really a thoroughly terrifying idea.
Yeah.
To think about how things could go under that type of spotlight. Like that's a heavy themed movie. That's still like that and like there's so many movies like that that just still hold up today so
Mhm.
well that you're like, mm, I'm good. I'm keep it over there.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I have had an amazing time talking about your favorite horror movie, your first horror movie. But before I let you go, we always bounce back to the same question.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to Creepshow 2, and what
Hmm.
we're gonna do is rank this movie on a skull count. Now, we're not ranking it on acting, production, score, direction, nothing like that. We're not being critics. What we're doing here, Tyra, is ranking this movie on how much it affected you on your first viewing. So zero skulls being not effective,
Hmm.
five being extremely effective. You can use half and quarter skulls anywhere in the middle. Tyra, what would your ranking of Creepshow 2 be?
A five. It's always going to be a five. If I did not see this movie, I probably wouldn't have seen any other horror movies after it. So it's always going to be a five.
I always say, like, if you didn't watch that movie then, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here now.
Mhm.
I'm a total believer in the butterfly effect, not the movie or its sequel, but the real butterfly effect. I'm totally on board with that. So, um, I didn't say it at the beginning, guys, but we're at the end of the third act. The credits are about to roll and the curtain's about to drop. But before that happens, I have all of Struggle Reviews TV's links down in the description. So make sure you're following on social media. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel so you can become a part of that family as well. I promise you, when you need a break from horror, that's going to be the channel you're going to want to go to because, like I said, she does so much work in making sure that she has the best content, a lot of research. She absolutely works her ass off to give you the best product all the time. So please make sure you're going subscribing and checking her out. Tyra, please don't go anywhere. I have a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.